going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to another episode of the Legion of Comic Correction, where we talk all things Thor! Got a thunder. Oh, what? Wait a minute.
You messing up over there, bro?
Oh, no.
That was what you wanted to do?
You're calling out Chris Evans.
Oh, he's just,
he's ready for, he knows what which one he's talking about.
He's out the gate. He said,
go.
He knows what's coming.
He's saying, you know what, Chris
He
Hemsworth,
just doesn't even
I know you're Thor, but I'm going to come for you anyway.
gonna come for it.
Well, we are leading up to our review on Thor Love and Thunder, which is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And we are going through all the other Thor movies before we get there. We did the first Thor movie last time, so go back and look at that if you haven't. And then this is Thor 2. Thor 3 will come out later, and then we'll do the Thorsome, the fourth Thor movie, Thor Love and Thunder. That's right. Thor 4?
Copyright.
What? Thorsome?
Thorsome.
Yeah.
Copyright. Patent pending.
There we go.
Trademark.
We're gonna get
Trademark.
Next week will be the Thorlogy. This is the Thorquel.
Wow. That was hard. That one hurt.
Thorquel is tough to say.
Thorquel was tough.
Thorquel
was
Thorlogy. Thorlogy, and then Thorsome.
See, Thorlogy I can get behind.
Thorlogy.
Thorquel I don't really feel. That one doesn't feel that right.
Yeah. Thorquel, Thorlogy, and Thortham.
Not that.
Well, if you're new here and you like this kind of ridiculous stuff, we do it all the time. So make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you can know when all of our newest episodes come out. And then go down to the description below. Check out all the links down there.
You're always on camera. Remember, you're always on camera.
You're now forever on camera. Make sure you
I just fixed my hair. What's wrong with that? Sorry, not all of us wear hats.
I saw it was about to. It was a road that it was about to go down. That I'm watching it over here.
I hit a yawn.
See, I get the glory of watching Harry the whole episode. I get to see everything from all the way from one of these.
to the vacant
See,
stand.
I wouldn't be that bad though because I know which lever it
I
is.
didn't know which lever was mine. all the way up to the fully animated. So I get to see it all. But now everyone gets to see it all, sir. You better watch it.
That Hansel is so hot right now. Right, he's swooping the hair.
Swooping the hair.
Swoop the hair.
Well, if you want to look as good as we do, go down to the descriptions and click our link to the legionofcc.com where you can get sweet merch like that.
Yep.
Sweet merch like this, and sweet merch like all of that over there.
Twice on Sunday.
Same merch.
Twinsies.
Same merch.
Yeah, super cool. So if you want to support us that way, that would be fantastic. If you want to support through Patreon, you can get extra content depending on the tier you pick. So go over there and check that out too.
Yep.
The Leg Ion Podcast.
Do it.
That's right. All about those legs and those ions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got Thor 2 to talk about today, Thor the Dark World. So let's jump into our Carnage.
Dark world.
Our Carnage report. All right, Carnage report time. This Thor came out 2013, so just a couple years after the first one. People were really excited because people loved Hemsworth, and then they loved him in Avengers. So, I mean, it had all the makings to be a really great sequel.
Well, I mean,
Thorquel.
this phase 2, if we think about it.
Right.
Like, coming off of Avengers, everything was hot. Everything was raised to another level. But actually, I'm going to put it out there. A lot of phase 2 did not hit. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, Winter Soldier was the best one.
Winter Soldier was easily the best one.
One of the best ones.
Easily, and holds up. Winter Soldier holds up well. But if you think about, like, Iron Man 2...
No, 3. 2, it came out first phase, I think.
No.
Really?
No.
I think Iron Man. Look it up.
Check that out.
But regardless, Iron Man 3.
You might.
I think it is.
I really don't think so.
I think Iron Man got 2 in before Avengers.
Really?
I think he did. Because he was over the demon in the bottle thing before the Avengers happened.
Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3.
They're both
whichever one is.
Yeah,
both bad. Both bad movies. Both bad.
2 was a lot like this movie I think we're going to talk about, where there was a lot of missed opportunities, but it wasn't like the worst of the worst. 3 was just a disgrace to comics.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you're exactly right.
Sorry, RDJ, we love you, but
but
that
those
movie just,
those were rough.
It was rough.
Man.
It was rough go.
They did not set you up well. You did much better in those
the Avenger movies.
Yeah, the
Civil
full team
War,
movie, Civil War, definitely.
Age
yeah,
of
of course.
Ultron, or Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, RDJ was great.
Was great
Age of Ultron,
Age of Ultron
may not have been a great movie.
No.
But you know what? It
Curse
gets a
of Glorious
bad rap.
Purpose.
It
It's
gets
a
a
good movie.
bad rap.
I like it.
I like Age
I
of
like it.
Ultron. I will
Yeah.
put it on. But RDJ, his
stole the show.
inner conflict.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What's
And
the-
external
what's the-
conflict.
what's
not
the-
even
What
inner.
did you guys say?
I said that Iron
He
Man
said it
1
was-
and 2 were both in Phase 1.
And I
And you
said
said
it was
no.
phase 2. I thought
Greg's right.
Greg's right.
Boom.
Well
Thought so.
done. Give me 5. Well
yeah,
done.
so Iron Man, the original, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, First Avenger, and the
And the
Avengers.
Avengers?
Avengers.
Oh,
Oh.
The Avengers.
The
the
Avengers.
Avengers.
The Averagers.
The Avengers. The Average Joes.
Average.
Average Joe's in gymnasium became.
Imagine Vince Vaughn as Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could do it.
He could pull it off.
I think he actually
could pull
could.
it
In
off.
all honesty, he's got chops.
Not in
I
all
think
honesty.
he could do it.
I know he's got chops. Don't get me wrong.
Ben
He's
Stiller.
played some
Ben Stiller
evil-
as Tony Stark.
Ben Stiller. No. But it has to
With
be
the mustache
It
and
has
everything?
to be Ben
Yeah.
Stiller playing his character in
Dodgeball?
in Dodgeball
In a book.
as Tony Stark. That has
Yeah.
to be. It has to be him
Honestly,
playing.
Ben Stiller in most any of his like dumb comedy movies.
Yeah, he's the same thing.
Like
where he's playing like a
like
He was a
Zoolander.
Mhm.
He was a
What is this?
superhero.
A house
Yes. Yes.
or school for ants?
That's really twice the size.
I would love to see Zoolander being Iron Man.
He has.
Yeah.
He was.
Being
He was a
Tony
superhero.
Stark.
You ever
Or-
see Mystery Men?
Yes.
Great
Mystery
movie.
Man. Great movie.
Mr. Furious.
I love
Yeah.
that movie.
What about what's the other one?
I'm so glad
He
we're
was a
talking
person.
about.
that.
From Happy Gilmore.
Oh
he's the
yeah,
nurse.
when he's
Oh,
the
yeah.
nurse.
Yeah.
Can
the
you do you
nursing
mind
home.
to get me shut the heck up?
No.
Chris
Hey.
Farley. Who would he be?
Hey guys, we're doing
Chris
a
Farley?
really
Chris
good
Farley?
job.
the Hulk.
He'd be the Hulk. Chris Farley.
Hulk,
Come on,
100%.
dude.
Chris Farley's the Hulk,
Adam
without a
Sandler.
doubt.
Adam Sandler's
Lay
Hawkeye.
off me, I'm starving.
Adam
Adam
Sandler's
Sandler.
Hawkeye.
Is
Or Thor. Would he have to be Thor?
I think he'd be Thor.
He'd have to be
He'd
Thor.
have to be Thor.
He had to be
Yeah.
Thor.
Who's Captain
Yeah.
America?
Captain
Vince
America's
Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
And who's
So-
Tony Stark?
All right, let's go back to this.
I'm
Ben
really
Stiller.
glad we're
Yeah.
talking about this and not Thor.
The
Thor:
movie.
Dark World. All
You
right,
know what's
well,
funny
we
is
gotta
that
go
if
into
we
it.
made a movie with those people,
It might
it'd be better
than
than
this.
Thor:
It'd be
Dark World.
100% better.
No, we were talking
Oh
about
my
it.
gosh,
It's not as
yeah.
bad as we remembered it. Okay,
It's pretty bad.
it is. What
It's
it
not
is.
great.
It's a rough one.
Yeah,
That's
all right.
your opinion.
Budget. That's true. We're all
Your
entitled to it.
opinion.
It's true.
Budget for this one was 170,000.
Nope. Sure wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Nope. Definitely wasn't.
I'm sorry, 170 million.
Thank you. Thank you. If the
$170?
If the budget for this movie,
they were
I would
cardboard.
take everything back. If the budget for this movie was $170,000,
Good Lord, that's impressive.
Thor-
I would say greatest movie of all time.
Thor's
I don't
got,
like. I will eat all of my words.
He's got like a squeaky hammer.
Yeah, he's definitely got a squeaky hammer. $170,000.
Whatever, 170 million. It's close enough. It's
Oh
chump
my
change.
gosh, not even close.
All right, 170 million. Opening they made 85 million, and then domestic, yeah, pretty good. Domestic they made 206 million, and then worldwide they made 644 million. So
How much?
That's
476.
644 million.
What did you say was opening weekend?
Opening weekend was
85.
85 million in domestic.
See,
Not
I
great.
don't know. That's not great.
But you look at back then though. You look at like this is still early in the MCU.
Way back when.
Well, it's early in the MCU.
No, I know.
2013. That was a while ago.
I mean, the first movie that like made it go crazy was probably Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely kicked it up because you saw.
Probably.
I mean, you see this.
Yeah.
I think what the Thor 1 made like 400 million, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And this makes almost 700 million.
Yeah.
That's a good amount.
It's okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think it was all the hype. I think
Sure.
it was all the hype and
I
not
think
being
so.
a quality movie.
I think there. Okay, here's the deal. There wasn't enough Marvel movies out yet for people to be like, this one's subpar. They were still pretty excited about it being a Marvel universe.
Yeah, pretty much any Marvel movie at that point, you could just be like,
Like, oh
yep,
man, it's amazing.
great.
But like,
Yeah.
if this came out in Phase 3 or Phase 4, at that point we already
I'm gonna
had
have
like
some.
a dozen
I'm gonna have
really
some
good movies.
interesting questions for you
Okay.
around source material stuff because I think that makes it a worse movie. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Go ahead.
Yeah, and for this one, the source material was not super tight.
Exactly, and that's
is
that's
what
what I
it
wanted to talk about. But go ahead.
Yeah.
You got cast to talk
All right,
about, man.
cast. Yeah, not too many more. We'll go to the regulars here. Chris Hemsworth is back. Natalie
He's
Portman
back.
is back. Tom Hiddleston is
She's
back.
back. He's
Stellan
back.
Skarsgård's back. Anthony Hopkins is back as Odin. Jamie Alexander back as Sif. We get Zachary Levi, or is it Levi or Levy?
Levi.
Is it Levi?
I believe so.
I don't know.
I don't
Shazam. He's Shazam now.
Yeah,
But
he is.
He came in as Fandral.
Yeah.
He wasn't Fandral in the first movie. I forget who it was. Somebody I didn't know. But he's Fandral for this movie and Ragnarok. And then he was all sad that he died in Ragnarok. But then he got the Shazam offer, and he's like, great.
Yep. Moving on.
Sounds
Shazam's
good.
way better.
Moving on to bigger and better places.
He was a good Fandral. But,
Yeah.
And then Kat Dennings comes back as Darcy Lewis. Idris Elba as Heimdall. We do have the addition here of the villain of the movie, which is pretty much everyone's gripe of this film.
Yep.
It's Christopher Eccleston. He plays Malekith, the Dark Elf. He's not huge in the States, but he was a doctor in Doctor Who from 2005 to 2020. He played like various episodes of that. So
That's what got him the role for
he
sure.
was one of the doctors, which is cool. He was also in 28 Days Later.
It was
which is pretty
supposed
sweet.
to be. It was supposed to be Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, he got offered it, and he told them, "I want something better."
Yes, and
Don't blame him.
good.
Super gutsy, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bold move. It's
That's
a
gutsy.
bold move.
I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is a big name, but like,
not at that time, man. I mean,
yeah,
like
he did a lot of period pieces at that point. He hadn't done a whole bunch of big.
he wasn't as huge as he is
No.
now,
No,
you know.
definitely
And
not.
but
Have you
he
done
made
Sherlock
the
yet?
right move.
When did Sherlock
he had,
come out?
He had at least done it
Sherlock
at
come
least
out?
one
2012,
season.
2013?
At least one
Yeah,
season.
so at least one
Yeah.
season. Of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So he was starting to be
He was starting to
More
pick
of
up.
a-
Earlier than that. Let me-
more of a mainstream. Yeah, it
That's
could
a
have been
good
earlier,
move.
man. It could have been like
Betting on he bet on himself. He bet on himself in
He
that
did.
moment.
He was
and
like,
that
"I'm gonna wait."
That was smart. That was
Paid
really
off.
smart. Paid
Yeah.
off for him.
Yeah, it did. It really did. All right, so that's our cast again.
2010.
20. I was right. Nice. 2010.
Good call. Good
Yeah,
call.
so
You're
2
on
years
it.
before?
You're
So
on
did-
it right
I'm
now,
on
man.
We
tonight.
did till 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great series.
that was a
We've talked
fantastic
about it
series.
before.
So
We've
good.
talked about how amazing it is. Yep.
I'm still angry that when Doctor Strange and Tony Stark met, no one said no Sherlock to each other because
Yeah.
they're both Sherlocks
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
Would have
both.
been good.
It's like, come on, you missed. It was like a freaking
Missed
That's
opportunity.
a slow pitch right there.
Yeah.
All right,
Hovered right over the plate.
It was. It was. No, it's a T-ball. There's
Yeah,
a T-ball
T-ball-
there.
T-ball
They
moment.
swung and they missed.
Yep.
They slipped on their own sweat. All right. That's a saying, right?
Slip. I don't know.
Never heard
Never
it.
heard of it, but I
Never
like
heard
it.
it, but you would
I'm
definitely
in.
keep it.
All right.
Definitely use it. It's one of your better ones.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
And that's
Yeah,
legit.
it's so
You're on
supportive
tonight.
tonight. All right.
You're on tonight. Let's just.
It's because we had a week off. We had a week off. We had like a week off.
We always have a week off.
Yeah, we always have a week.
Why, didn't we have an extra week, though?
No.
No, really? We filmed last week?
Yes, sir.
Dude,
I don't know where you've been.
small world. All right. Source material. Not a lot. I really couldn't find a huge amount.
Right. Right.
I'm just going to, I'm going to go with the first appearance of the Reality Stone, which was Avengers Annual number 7. The Reality Stone, though, I don't believe it was an ether in the comics. It's an ether. It's nebulous
Yeah.
in
gas.
the movies. It's like a gas, yeah. It
Yeah.
goes inside Natalie Portman, like inside
Yep.
Jane Foster.
Yep. I
Which
don't
is
even know if it's a
probably
gas. It's
what gave
kind
her
of like
cancer.
it's kind of like a sockwood.
A sock.
Sockwood.
A sock. Well, it does.
Solid
Eventually,
liquid.
it eventually
Like it's
becomes
a-
back to.
You know what it reminds me
Solid.
of? Here's what I will say.
You know
It
what's
reminds
crazy?
me
I'm
of a
pretty sure
mercury.
gas is
Is that?
when you
Yeah, because you can touch it. Like it's solid,
mix.
but it's also.
I think
floaty.
it looks like mercury almost.
Yeah, kind of. It's glittery. It's all
Mhm.
like sparkly as it.
Yeah, mercury's technically a solid.
But mercury can't fly. It flies, doesn't it?
Well,
Doesn't it
actually,
like go up in the air? Can
Mercury?
Mercury fly? What?
No.
Helium
oh.
flies.
Well,
Helium-
I mean, mercury. You can. I mean,
he said well.
Step in here.
he
Come
said
on.
well.
We're falling off. We're
He
falling
said
apart.
well.
no, I mean,
here.
mercury. You can have mercury gas, mercury vapor gas. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's vapor. But we were talking about it in
I
liquid.
thought,
form.
yeah, I was.
Well, it depends. I mean,
See?
it depends on what.
Can Mercury fly?
I mean,
The god can.
yeah.
The Mercury,
I mean,
the god.
it
is
all
the
depends on
wings, isn't it?
temperature and what state you're talking
I
about.
don't know if that
'Cause, like-
statement makes any sense whatsoever. Can mercury fly?
But he just said it depends on the situation, and maybe
What?
it can.
What?
Well, first off,
What constitutes flying?
well,
I guess you could
flying
throw it in
Flapping
the air.
something
Yeah,
hard enough
like-
to, I don't know.
Throw it in the air.
flight would require,
Spinning
I believe,
things?
wings. I believe flight
No.
requires
Float?
wings.
Maybe
He could
is the word?
Float, maybe.
It could
Yeah,
float.
float.
Yeah,
I've broken
yeah.
enough mercury bulbs.
There's
I know there is
no-
gas in there.
There's
No,
no,
I mean, like,
there's
yeah,
no
if we're talking about-
self-propulsion.
if we're
There's no
talking about-
self-propulsion.
the god Mercury.
That's what I'm saying. He flies.
He flies.
Mhm.
It's cool.
Yeah, the planet Mercury orbits.
Technically flies through space. It's a celestial body.
Orbits.
It orbits
I don't
through
think
space.
it flies through space.
I guess not.
Well, it uses it uses the sun's gravitational pull to.
It's a slingshot.
Do you think
effect.
it's a fly? Would you classify it as flight?
It's propulsion.
Neil
it's
Tyson
propulsion.
deGrasse, we need some
We
help
need
here.
some clarification.
We need some clarification.
Well, here's the question though: if it
Also,
broke orbit and
Are you
kind
part of the Tyson
slingshot
chicken
off,
family? Can you bring chicken fingers?
Chicken fingers come on the podcast.
Oh, I went to FWAT.
Nice.
Yeah, it
Thursday?
didn't
FWAT
sit well with me.
What?
It didn't, but
You
it was
had
delicious.
it before.
No, it was the first time I had it.
No,
Greg,
I brought it here
Greg,
one time.
You brought
Greg.
it here?
Greg, you
First time I've
you
been
were
there.
on the right track tonight. You were
I
saying
lost it.
things that like made
lost it.
sense. Like were
He just said chicken wings.
Yeah,
I
but
said
I
FWAT is
know-
a chicken wing place
yeah, but you then
or a chicken
also
finger place.
followed it up with it didn't sit well with
It didn't.
me.
It didn't. I
And
was disappointed because it tasted really good.
You need to get your stomach in order. Then
Listen,
you need
there
to
is
figure that out.
no. We share things on this podcast.
I know we do, but
There's
what
no
I'm
barriers.
I'm not saying there's a barrier.
It's a
I'm
safe-
saying you're
safe space.
something's wrong with you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
If it's not sitting well,
Do you need a
Like,
moment?
that's true.
yeah,
No, I took a
Pull
lot
it
of those
together.
after Thursday.
pull it together.
All right. The other big connection here is Thor number 344, which was the first run of Malekith, the Dark Elf.
Mhm.
Similar idea. He gets locked away. He comes out and fights with his
Yeah.
army. Like, again, very similar, but again, emphasis on the army, emphasis on the elves and their power.
Yeah.
Which
Mhm.
again was kind of downplayed in this movie, just
Yeah,
a bit. I think
yeah.
it was more. It ended up being more about the ether
Yep.
and the ramifications of that cosmic entity than it really did about Malekith, which is a shame because Christopher Eccleston was great.
Yeah,
I thought he was really good.
That's the point I want to address, but I'm going to wait for it in the.
Yeah, for the review.
For the
So
review.
that's our Carnage Report. Let's jump into our comic review. I said review weird. I said it weird. Review.
Yeah, so I want to put off
You
right
complimented me too many times, man.
and complimented. You went to
It
your
just
head.
broke.
It went
I
to your
broke
head.
now. I'm
You
broken.
broke.
Stop talking now.
Here's the issue with this movie.
Bro.
You're gonna say some stuff that nobody's
Sure.
gonna agree with, and
How do you know?
rightfully
You haven't
so.
heard me yet.
I just know you will. The issue with this movie,
Wow.
is the
Wow.
villain.
No, I agree.
Correct
You
me
guys'
if I'm wrong.
dynamic is just
Correct me if I'm wrong.
off the charts today.
So
I agree. No, I agree with you.
yeah. So here's the issue.
I think we're going to agree more than you think we're going to agree.
The use of the Dark Elves in
Yes.
this movie was a complete underutilization of them as a character. And
Agreed.
I don't mean just Malekith, I mean the entire Dark Elves. So the
Yes.
Dark Elves beings are extremely ancient. They go back and they are as old as the Asgardians, which they touch on a little bit in the movie. But the reality is, for them to have been defeated the first time,
Yeah.
it took Odin
Right.
and the strength of Asgard to be able to defeat them
Yep.
the
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
to lock away the ether and to contain it.
Right.
So, like, the ending of this film and the way that they portray, and the way that the anticlimactic ending that we get, where we
Yeah.
don't get an army of dark elves that we're actually like fighting against, and we get what should have been. We don't get what should have been a bit of a team up movie to take these guys on. We talked about this a little bit
Or just a
before.
full on army versus army kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah. I mean, like, let's get more of the Asgardians involved. Let's get
Right.
Let's get more of the Avengers involved. We've had an Avenger team up movie to this point. You know, this in my lens should have been like the first time where we start seeing some crossover opportunities, and we didn't get that. Like,
Yeah.
bring in Hulk. Bring in. I know that would have been maybe
Yeah.
a movie early.
Yeah.
But like, bring in somebody else, because at this point you're trying to have us believe that Thor by himself could take down the Dark Elves,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
and it just doesn't work from my lens. This was a bigger villain that needed a bigger response,
Right.
and we didn't get that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, several of them were, like they had dwindled from the war, from the earlier war. There was definitely like
of
a
course,
smaller,
there was only their one ship that
And they-
remained, but
right.
it's still an army.
and they did.
Like,
yeah.
they had berserkers.
The
Like,
berserkers
they-
were sick.
The berserkers,
berserkers were really
awesome,
cool.
and they didn't they again underutilized. Like,
Yeah.
They went into They
went in when they fought.
They killed Frigga, which was their plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was part of their plan. And they did infiltrate.
And Loki.
Yeah.
Right, well, that was off planet. I'm talking about when they infiltrated Asgard.
Okay.
So,
yes,
like,
yes.
They did do some damage, but to me, the feeling I got when I saw them was dime store Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't feel like a galactic
that is
elf.
A really good way of putting it.
I want a galactic elf. I mean, you look at like the pictures of Malekith.
They don't look. I mean, that's Legolas. That's a dark Legolas. That's what it is.
And Malekith in the comics, he's freaking terrifying. I mean,
Well, it kind of looks like a Joker almost.
Yeah, you see him
in
there?
the comics. Yeah. I mean, you look at that.
Freaking terrifying.
You look at that.
He's got like blood all over him. And he's like,
when we do this, you need to put that up here. But like that wasn't him here. He did not. That is an elf who has been imprisoned forever,
for generations.
Yeah. The elf we got that was clean shaven, well taken care of, well kept, hair all braided up.
Hair.
He was Legolas. He was Orlando Bloom out here.
Yeah. The only ones that looked good, I thought, were the Berserkers.
The Berserkers
looked pretty
great.
sick.
Berserkers looked awesome.
They kind of look like Uruk-hai. You know,
they're not far off. They're not far off, man.
Tusks and stuff.
They really,
they're cool.
They look good.
Yeah,
but
cool.
you're right. They stole a lot here in terms of they heard elves.
Yeah, that's not scary.
They heard elves and they were like, "See, okay, Lord of the Rings."
I guess so. And they're doing like the kind of medieval, feel to it because it's still got that Kenneth Branagh feel to it.
I was not fearful.
Was it Branagh again? Did he do it again? No, Alan Taylor directed.
I think that's part of the problem right there.
Yeah,
I think
it wasn't
part
Branagh.
of the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Malekith gave me no fear. Yeah. There wasn't a single second of intimidation.
No, the
from
Berserkers
Malekith.
were scarier.
Don't get me wrong. Scarier. Like I look at Thanos. I'm not afraid of Thanos. Like it's not like I go home and I'm like I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. But he is an intimidating human being. When you first see Thanos, the way that they built him up,
that's great.
The way that they finally portrayed him for the first time in front of us, like he is. He is imposing.
Yeah, he's big.
I get nothing from this guy. I'm not scared of this guy.
I think he's supposed to be like he's like the fast stabby guy.
I get that, but I'm not even.
He's not like that.
It's not even interesting.
That,
well, he's just like
he's
also like kind of crazy a little bit in like the comics. So it's like I don't know why they didn't play into that. Yeah,
unhinged. You've been trapped for generations.
He's been in that sleep.
Yeah,
and it should have messed him up.
It should have messed him up big time. He was clear-headed. Like he had a plan. He executed on a plan. This isn't a guy who has a plan.
Yeah. He didn't do a sit rep on what's going on.
Stick his head out the car of a police car. That's what he should do.
I mean, he needed to be unhinged.
Yeah,
and he wasn't unhinged. Right. He wasn't intimidating.
You know what was
Thanos is cold calculating it and directed. He's
had a long time to figure it out. Yeah.
Exactly. This guy should have been completely just lashing out, bonkers in every direction.
Bonkers.
Not directed, like just power, force, and a unleashed.
Yeah, I think they wanted to make him like the guy in the chair to the Berserkers, and it just didn't work. I don't think it worked.
You're exactly right.
I agree with what you were saying. Did you have anything else that you were like that really was kind of nitpicky for you, or that you didn't like, or that
nitpicky? That's not nitpicky. That's the whole premise of the movie.
No, I'm not talking about what you're saying. I'm saying, does he have anything else that he wants to add in there, whether it be nitpicky or anything else?
No, I just
watch.
Besides,
I didn't say you said we're nitpicky.
I mean, you take away like the element of the bad guy being not really that bad, and them not really capitalizing or utilizing the actual like abilities of each of the elves and Malekith and everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, but
that
just proves like if you just have one bad part to a movie, like it can ruin the whole entire movie.
Especially one this
Same
large.
thing with like the ending of movies. If you have a bad ending to a movie,
my man,
then your whole entire movie is ruined.
Yep.
They're like, it's just the end. I'm like, well, the end is everything. Right. The bad guy, the
Watchmen,
antithesis.
The Watchmen.
Yeah,
Watchmen's always always the example for that. Yeah, where's the squid?
Right. Where's my squid?
Where's my squid?
And so I mean,
to this day,
if your antagonist is not as as it should be with all the source.
Right.
That's the thing that kills me about like why we have to do what we do.
Yeah.
Is because there's literally
Yeah.
source material for
Yeah.
you to use. Use it.
Amen, brother.
If you
Go
have
ahead.
it,
Go ahead, preach,
if you have
brother.
it, just use it. Don't be fancy. Stop messing around.
Well, and I will.
That's right. Get him.
What
Get
is
'em.
wrong with you?
Squeaky Mike, get
I
him.
will have a little like you have a little bit of grace.
Yeah, a little bit. It's fine.
because,
Well,
well,
you can dabble here and
because, no,
there.
well-
there's the line. Here's the line right here. You can go down the line. You're like,
Well,
you
they've
don't have
gotten
to correct
better.
course.
You got to come back to the trail.
They've gotten better.
You got to come back to the
what I'm
trail.
saying
There's a
is-
road.
What I'm saying is
Stay slightly on
the
it.
road. What I'm saying is having grace with this movie in its entirety, in that like Marvel got better at sticking to the source.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, we don't have
Learned.
complaints about source. Like Marvel does a really good job at sticking to
true.
the source,
It's true.
deviating
Or
where
if
they
they
have
do,
to.
yeah, if they do deviate, it's usually
It's
like,
usually good stuff.
yeah, I could see someone
Yeah.
creating a comic like that.
Right.
This is just like,
This just
your
wasn't-
bad guy sucks.
It was just bland. It was
yeah,
bland.
That's it.
And there was no reason that it
No.
needed to.
Right.
Like, there was absolutely no
No.
reason
Right.
Malekith needed to suck.
They could have.
Yeah, he didn't
They
have to
could
be
have.
bland.
No, yeah.
He's a good
They-
actor.
Right.
A good makeup, like
Yeah.
they have good
there
effects.
was no
obviously.
reason. You've just blown out with Avengers.
Right,
You are
right.
given carte blanche at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
People will come and eat it up.
Yeah.
And you
did,
You
but-
went with a lackluster portrayal
Yeah.
of Malekith.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so. I think the thing that, because Harry was saying, it was still pretty like it wasn't the worst movie in the world. Because I think what they
I mean, before a couple other movies came out recently, it was branded the worst of all Marvel movies.
it was
Like,
Well,
everyone's
but
like,
again, I
sure
don't
up
think-
A lot of
Yeah.
people forget. I mean, like people forget about some movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp. People forget about the movie. They're like, oh, but
Yeah.
that wasn't bad.
Yeah,
But they forget about Thor: Dark World, and they're like, wow, that was horrible.
yeah, but again, I think it was unjust because it's like they're also forgetting Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, which all came around at the same time.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
the problem there
Thor
is
2, Thor
the
2 is better
problem
than
there.
those.
Here,
Yeah.
I and you
Agree.
I think agree with him
Yeah.
100%. Problem is Thor 3, not Thor, I'm sorry.
Thor 2.
Iron Man 3
Oh, yeah,
is like beloved.
Oh, people
for
love that
some
one.
reason. It made over
Yeah.
$1 billion. Like it was apparently like really it was
but
theatrically well received.
We've talked
and
about
the
that,
whole
though.
I know
in that
It's
it is a good
because
movie.
It's a good
It's
movie.
got good pacing. It's got good writing. It's got
but
good
it's
character
not
development.
a good
but it's a bad comic book.
source
Right.
movie.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I think that's part of what's falling here.
Yes, agreed.
This made a
Yeah.
lot of money still.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think if we were able to step back and be able to just watch the movie, I think we'd still have some gripes about the villain.
Sure.
I think we still would no matter
100%.
what. But I think if we pulled back from knowing the source
Comic
material,
stuff,
knowing
yeah.
where it could have come from, I think it could have been a fine movie. I'm a little bit, I will still say, I don't understand the arc of
The Covenant.
the art. Well, number one, yeah. I don't
look
think
inside
any of
it.
us don't
inside it.
look in.
You'll be a pumpkin.
Mm-mm.
Not the
Your
kind of
face
pumpkin you
melt
want.
all
No,
either. It's
I'm
just
Natalie Portman and
getting the ether.
no,
Like
just
taking the
her their love arc,
Yeah.
their
She's there.
relationship just
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to
Nope.
me. I am
Yeah.
I am baffled by the relationship here. Like
Well, he was in the first movie. He was
actually
attracted
in
to.
the vast majority. Let's back
Yeah.
this up. Let me actually get a little bit larger.
Mhm.
Vast majority of Marvel relationships
Yeah.
completely confused.
Except for Hawkeye and his wife.
Hawkeye and his wife
They're
are
the
the
best.
but like we
They're
didn't
so good.
see them.
Yeah, till
We
later.
didn't see them for so long.
So
So,
I
that's
think-
that's that.
I
Yeah.
But think about some of these other ones. Hulk and Natasha. Where the heck did that come from?
I didn't mind that.
I didn't mind it, but then they
Yeah,
did
it's kinda
nothing
weird.
with it, and then it
Yeah,
went
they didn't
nowhere.
continue.
There's a lot of there's a lot of relationships.
yeah,
in
well,
There's
Marvel.
the Sharon
relationships
Carter thing
in-
that never went anywhere. and-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then he goes back in time
And
and
he
he
hooks up with her aunt.
Yeah, I'm like,
He's like, hey,
dude, what is going on?
like, hey,
Hold up.
They
word,
can't
I know
get-
your descendants.
They had to
She's pretty
literally.
cool.
They had to
Cool, I guess.
literally
She kind of
make
stalked
up
me
an
and kinda stalked your
entirely
back.
new relationship
Yeah,
for
for sure.
Hawkeye to try and redeem relationships. Natasha with
Well,
I don't-
with Cap, like
Yeah.
Well,
what
other
is
than-
going
What was it? Oh,
on?
well, I mean, the other one that kind of makes sense
I don't
is
mind that
Tony
one.
and Pepper.
you've
Tony
literally
Pepper.
said.
I don't mind Natasha
I
and
don't
Cap.
mind.
Well, I
There's
don't mind
several
Natasha
of
and Cap
these.
because
these are all bad.
no, listen, Natasha and Cap don't mind because Cap never reciprocated. Like, he wasn't interested in her, but she was being drawn into the first real family that she'd ever had.
Family.
It's about family.
And so you can understand that, like, this was like the antithesis of all the guys she had ever like been around. You know, besides Hawkeye, who she saw as a brother. So it's like that one's not as weird. The other ones I do agree with though. They're bizarre.
We're not getting any real relationships built.
I think it's because Marvel's scared of.
I was going to say that's been a criticism. It's been a criticism of them that it's like they don't really portray love relationships very well.
You know what they really done is
Pepper
and Tony.
Pepper and Tony.
And Hawkeye.
Which was always confusing, too. We never knew what they actually were all the time until the end.
Paltrow left, and then they brought her back.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Well, but that wasn't the writer's fault.
That was
her not wanting to do the contract.
Yeah.
I get it.
They had to kind of figure that out there in the middle.
That
worked though because
it ended up working out.
His personality is like so messed up, and his obsession was so intense that that made sense. They were like on again, off again, on again.
Right.
Anyways,
still together, but
but
let's go back to Thor.
Let's
go back to Thor.
So back to Thor.
Yes, Jane Foster in this case
Jane Foster and Thor make no sense in this movie, which is why I feel like it goes nowhere. Yes, I agree.
He was attracted to her understanding of the cosmos and her understanding of science.
And her unique
science.
Right. And then he left. And I get that in the second one, she's still obsessed with him. But they didn't really, I don't know why he would still be.
She was really pushing him away.
Well, she was trying to forget about him by dating Chris O'Dowd.
Yeah.
Which, hey, he's a pretty funny dude.
Yeah, anyway. But good luck with it. Good luck competing there.
Yeah, right. Ooh.
She wants that
Chris
Dorito.
O'Dowd. He wants a Dorito. He wasn't a Dorito yet. He was still relatively human.
More of like a... It was more of like a...
He wasn't quite
what would you call that?
He was a 3D Dorito.
He was like a scoop.
He was a 3D Dorito.
Would you say Chris O'Dowd was the Lay's? Like just like
he's just a Lay's potato chip.
And then Hemsworth was the Dorito. Yeah. Hey, you can't pass up that spicy nacho.
Exactly.
Anyway,
exactly.
I think what made the movie kind of feel like it wasn't the worst was that the subplots were all done really well. So like Frigga's death was great. That was a great arc for Thor.
Yeah.
Loki's sacrifice and saving of Jane was really great. The introduction. You
heard it first here.
The introduction of the Collector and dropping off the Infinity Stone, like that was really cool. So all like the little side things were really cool.
But that's another one that they've done jack with. And the Collector should be so much more.
He's dead now.
Yeah, true.
Thanos killed him.
I think. I don't know. I think the storyline with like Loki and Dark World. I think the storyline with
Frigga. Yeah. Yeah, those were good.
Thor's mom. I think it was good. Like I think that was good. It was just like just all ruined by who's doing it.
Well, and that's the point I think he's making here. Is like
those
the
things were good and important,
but they don't really.
That's why when I rewatched it like 3 years ago,
they didn't fill out.
That's why when I watched it 3 years ago, I was just like, everyone needs to go back and rewatch this because this is not as bad as everyone remembers. It's just like because of it having the ether and like that's a big. I mean, it's one of the stones. Like
reality
that has to be a good movie. Like everyone's like, oh, they're you have all the Tesseract ones. You have all the whatever. So it's like, I don't know. Go back and watch it.
The Tesseract got so much more focus
compared to everything else.
Compared to everything else.
Yes.
The Tesseract.
The Tesseract probably number one. Probably Time Stone.
Time or Mind.
Mind because of Vision.
Yeah, that's true.
But time was whenever Doctor Strange was there. So so probably Mind and then Time.
I think Mind is second. Like
but and all the other ones were pretty much found.
This one they messed this movie up and then they were like, just shove it away. Just put it away. Put it away. Put it away.
In the collector's place. We'll get it later.
We don't want to talk about it anymore.
We'll get it later.
What else is there? Time, Mind, Reality.
Time, Mind, Reality, Space.
What's Tesseract?
The Tesseract is space.
Power? Oh,
is
space.
And there's the Power Stone.
There's the Power.
What's the Power
and the
Stone?
Soul Stone.
The Power is the purple one.
Yeah, where does that come from?
That comes from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he took it from the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
He just
that one.
They don't even talk about that.
Entire Nova
he
Corps.
wipes out the whole Nova Corps.
At least their home
and
planet.
takes it, and we don't even hear a single thing about it.
We're assuming Nova's still out there.
And we don't even get Nova.
No. Well, we're assuming he's still out there, and I'm
frustrated.
I'm hoping it's just John C. Reilly. He was the best Nova Corps.
Oh, he would be amazing.
Yeah.
He wouldn't make any sense as Nova.
He says, but he's not 100% a dick.
Yeah.
He's just that him in Guardians was the best.
Yeah.
He was so funny.
But I mean, it's not going to be him.
No, probably not.
No.
Could you imagine if he got Dorito?
If he got in shape.
If he Dorito'd up? John C. Reilly as a Dorito?
There's not enough HGH on this planet to make John C. Reilly
to counteract
yoked
the
like
cheese
that.
whiz.
Can you imagine? That would be so great.
Dr. Street
be
Bro.
I want to wreck it.
Oh gosh.
All right, let's get to our verdict.
This is bad.
I personally
Verdict.
I-
Logan, what do you think? We usually go boom, boom, boom. What do you think?
correction.
Okay, you think it's a
I
correction?
personally believe it's
Full
a
out
correction. Because here's the thing.
The sins are too great, is what
The
you're saying.
sins are too great.
They're too
and
great.
if this is not a correction, I don't understand what corrections are. We have talked. Listen. We
bold statement.
started
It's a bold
this.
statement.
We started this
We did.
because of movies messing up
Yep.
the source material. I know. I almost dropped a word there.
Yeah, that's
but
all right.
because of that, and because
Yes.
of that, like as my base premise, this is a correction. Like
Okay.
they
Yeah,
messed
I
up
get that.
the largest, most important part of the movie, which is the villain.
Yeah, and I would say it was even worse than messing up because like they didn't even go completely off
I agree.
track. They just took something that could have been great and made it bland.
They made it
Like it just made it boring.
Yeah, they made
Like
it
it wasn't
super boring.
Because if you look at Malekith, he wasn't wrong comic wise.
Yes, he was.
I mean,
we just went over all the ways that he was wrong.
Well, but I mean, like he was still a dark elf. He was still in prison for all that time. He still came out with the same mission. Like
all he has is the same name and species.
and
That's it.
and mission
That's it.
and background. But it's just like, but then the way they portrayed him was just bland. It was like
yeah.
it was like if they took, it's like if they took this really great villain and then
Joker.
and then they just like had him played by the most like bland, completely emotionless character.
Yeah.
Like it's like so like everything physically, like for the most part,
Yep.
was fine, you
Yeah.
know, and like background was fine, and they just were like, well, let's just make him really boring.
It's
It stinks. So correction.
yeah, correction.
What do you
That's
think,
I
Gary?
stand
You
by
could say
it.
perfection. I'm just kidding.
No. Pack it up.
I made a point, and he can't
I
defend
don't
it.
know. I don't know if it's that. I think
no,
he's
I've
just genuinely.
nothing was said here that I wasn't
I
already
think he's
aware
just
of.
questioning his life right now.
I don't know. I mean,
What is the purpose of this podcast if this isn't a correction?
Wow. Again, bold statement. We want to hear his opinion though, because it's also opinions.
perfection.
His mic doesn't
Perfection. Good. Well, don't tempt him.
There you go.
Dropped.
Like has been dropped.
What do you really think? You want to go last?
No, I mean, I would say that the only thing that's hindering me from saying it is a full-on correction is that although that the bad guys, the antagonists are like the main driving factor for movies in like action movies and stuff like that. The thing is that like there's a lot of like the points or sub whatever throughout the whole entire movie that they do let me put it this way.
He's lost.
I'm really lost.
He's lost.
I'm lost.
He's lost. He
No,
can't.
but
I made a point that can't be
the
defeated.
subplot.
No.
The subplots in the movie
Yeah.
aren't bad.
Correct.
And they're actually pretty good, and they're
Also
done
correct.
somewhat well. But the only thing that's bad about them is the part that's doing it to them, which is the antagonist, which is the Dark Elf.
So, your verdict?
He went a long way around.
I'm gonna say it is what it is. To be honest, I'm gonna say it is what it is.
It has been spoken. I have spoken.
Because I think it just can be. I think it'd be triaged a little bit
That's your
by
opinion.
the subplots.
It's wrong,
Yeah.
It's fine.
but it's your opinion.
That's fine. What's it gonna be, Greg?
Well, I think Logan already knows because we've talked about this before. I agree with you, Harry.
So
I think
stupid.
it is what it is. I think it's not
So
quite.
stupid.
Here's the deal.
This channel has lost its.
Who are you people?
Who are you?
When I think of corrections,
You. This is.
I think. Wait. When I think of corrections,
This is the Legion of Comic Correction with Harry and Greg. Okay? That's what it is.
When I think of a comic correction, I think of like Green Lantern.
Comic. Okay, here's what you think of.
Comics.
Let me do this. Let me do this straight. Let me break it down. Comic. Correction.
Yeah.
That's what it is!
I would say...
Didn't do the comics.
Okay, let me say this. Let me say it this way, and I'm going to be a little...
Does it need to be corrected?
I'm going to be a little cryptic. I'm going to be a little cryptic.
Sir.
I have been influenced. I have seen the new Thor. You have not. You have not. I have seen it.
Haven't yet.
This is an is what it is.
It can't make it better.
This is an is what it no. This is an is what it is.
It's not. So
that's what I think. All right.
You're wrong.
Drop it in the comments, guys. What you think. Is Thor 2
Put
really
it down
as
below.
bad as everybody says it is? Is it really as bad as Logan says it is?
Yes.
Or is it just...
take your opinion of what you had from seeing it the first time.
put it
If you
down
haven't
there.
watched in the past 5 years, go watch it.
Go watch it.
Yeah,
Go
then
watch
tell
it.
us. Tell us if we're wrong. Or
Yeah.
tell us if he's wrong. You
I'm
know?
not.
I don't
think any of us are
I don't
going
think
to
any of us
be
are really wrong.
You are.
Wow. See this?
Excuse me, sir.
Team player? Not a team player.
Not on this one.
Not on this one. Well,
I'm on my hill.
we'll see if Thor 3, if the Thorology will bring us back together as a legion. We'll see you guys next time. Where are you? Don't break things. What are you doing?
Getting higher so that I can speak with more authority.
I have the high ground.
I have the high ground.
Don't try it, Logan.
Mine can... I don't know if I have a button.
You got the worst.
All right, see you later,
shit.
guys.
See ya.
That went down.